Hey, first graders, we are going to work on another informative or expository text this week. This week, our topic is groundhogs. So we are going to look here in our journals. I want you to find the first place where you have both sides available. Okay, and we're going to come to the first side here. And in the middle of the top line, so right in here, we're going to write our topic, groundhogs. We always want to use our nicest handwriting because remember, these are just notes we're taking, so we can come back and use the information in our sentences. So if it's messy writing, it's going to be hard for us to know what it is we want to share. Okay? And then we're going to box it in. And we're going to draw a line top to bottom and side to side, so we have a nice little foursquare. Now remember, as we are reading about groundhogs, we are going to want to be using our five senses or thinking how the groundhog is using their five senses in order to determine if we have a fact. If we just say groundhogs are cute, that's our opinion, okay? That's not something we can prove to somebody using our five senses. Because somebody else might use their eyes to look at a groundhog and not think it's cute. Okay, so we are using our Scholastic News, Busy Busy Groundhog, to gather information. And I just wanted to remind you that you can also do this on the website, that there is a website for Scholastic News. So I'm going to remind you how you can do that. So let's see if I can get myself a little smaller here. So here is today's page, and this shows up every day. Every week there's going to be a Scholastic News showing. So if you click on the Scholastic News image, it will open it up in a new page, and it will ask you to sign in. It's being a little bit slow right now. Okay, so it's going to ask you to log in, and you will say that you are a student. And if you are in Miss Turner's class, then your code or your classroom password is JTURNER, J Turner 30, okay, which is the same one we use for class code in RazKids. If you are in Miss McKee's class, your class code is LMCKEE, L McKee 11. Okay. So since I'm Miss Turner, I'm going to use my passcode and sign in. And from here, you are able to, it's going to have the picture show up in just a minute. You are able to listen to and read the Scholastic News. And then built into the Scholastic News, there will be links to videos, games, vocabulary, different things that will add to it. So we also have some of those things here. There's one of the videos, a slideshow teaching you some of the vocabulary words, a little game about using sight words with our groundhog. And then there is an activity that you can do here too. There's even papers that can be printed off and used at home if you would like to use those. Okay, so those are sometimes fun to use. Okay, and since I was going to have us read it on there, but since our internet seems to be a little bit slow right now, we're going to go ahead and just read it here. Okay, so we have busy, busy groundhog. This groundhog is busy. It eats and eats. Groundhogs eat everything in this picture but one thing. Can you guess what it is? Okay, so look at all the different things in this picture. Okay, we've got a bee, we've got some little flowers, some dandelions, grass, and we've got a snail back behind it. Looks like there might be some type of bushes. Okay. What do you think it is that the groundhog does not eat? Okay. Busy in every season. As you read, think of one thing a groundhog does in each season. Ooh, that would be a good way to think about what to put in our foursquare as well, wouldn't it? Okay, so busy in the fall. The groundhog eats and eats in the fall. It prepares for winter. It gets ready for the cold. It eats a lot, so its body will have a thick layer of fat. The fat will help it get through the winter. Now, what do you think is the most important fact about a groundhog in that section? Okay. Whatever it is you thought was most important, you can write down in one of your foursquares. To me, and you might agree with me, and you can write this down with me if you do, to me, the most important thing about fall had to do with the sense of taste. So I'm going to put a mouth there. And it is that it eats a lot in the fall. Groundhogs eat a lot in the fall. Okay? Maybe you wanted to remember that groundhogs get a thick layer of fat, okay, in the fall. What is it about in the fall that we learned about groundhogs? Okay, let's look at winter. The groundhog hibernates all winter. It goes into a deep sleep. It does not eat all winter long. It might not look busy, but its body is working hard. It is turning the fat into energy. The groundhog needs energy to stay alive. Okay. Which of our five senses, well, what is the most important thing we learned about groundhogs in that section? Okay. Maybe you thought it's turning fat into energy. That's something that's pretty important. Or that groundhogs need energy to stay alive. I like to remember that the groundhog hibernates in the winter. Okay, so what would be a sense we could associate with hibernating? Okay, I would say that's something that people have seen and watched and studied. So I'm going to use an I. Maybe for you that goes more with the sense of how the groundhog is feeling. So maybe you feel like it goes better, or that it has to do with how the body is moving and things. And so maybe it goes better with the sense of touch. But I'm going to go with it's something that I can see the groundhogs do in the winters, that they go in their homes and that they curl up and fall asleep and they're there the whole winter long. Okay, So I'm going to say groundhogs hibernate. I don't need to add any extra words for that to be a full sentence. Groundhogs hibernate. Okay. Let's look at spring and summer. Busy in the spring and summer. The groundhog is really busy in the spring. First, it wakes up from its long winter nap. Then it eats and eats. Hey, that sounds a lot like in the fall. The groundhog eats and eats in the fall. So they do that again in the spring. Some groundhogs have babies in the spring too. In the summer, they eat some more. They take care of their babies. The babies grow up. Okay, so that's spring and summer. So to me, the most important thing that I learned there is that the groundhog, when they have the babies in the spring. Okay, so I think again that's something that scientists have observed. Okay, so I think that's something we have seen happening. Okay, groundhogs have babies in the spring. Okay, groundhogs have babies in the spring. That is another fact we just learned. Okay, let's look at this bottom section. It says, I wonder, what do groundhogs eat? Okay, we've got leaves, grass, snails, twigs, flowers, fruits and vegetables. What got left off from that front page? Those are all things that we saw on here. Well, we didn't see fruits and vegetables, but we saw other plants. Groundhogs don't eat these. Okay, so I am going to use that information in my fourth box. Okay, I'm going to do another one that has to do with sense of taste. And I'm going to choose one of the things that they listed to say that groundhogs eat that. Okay. Groundhogs eat. I'm going to combine several of them into one category and say groundhogs eat plants. Okay, but if you want to just pick one of the things from this list down here to say that groundhogs eat, that would be awesome. Okay, and then on the back, you can use the labels and answer these questions using the information on the back. That can be done just for fun though. Okay. So again, looking at my foursquare, I want to make sure I have 4 things that we can prove, okay? Things that we can show other people and help other people learn, not just things we think or feel. So, groundhogs eat a lot in the fall. Okay, that is something that we have learned. It's something that we can prove. Groundhogs hibernate. Again, that's something we can learn, something that can be taught, something that has been observed. Groundhogs have babies in the spring. Okay, that's another observation scientists have made about groundhogs. And groundhogs eat plants. Okay, that uses the sense of taste. So we can confirm that as well. We know that the groundhogs are using their sense of taste. And so that works as a fact as well. Okay, So that is our Foursquare for today. Make sure to share it, and we will use that information moving forward. Happy learning!